Patrick James Pat Riley is an American professional basketball executive, and a former coach and player in the National Basketball Association. He has been the team president of the Miami Heat since 1995, a position that enabled him to serve as their de facto general manager and as their head coach in two separate tenures. Widely regarded as one of the greatest NBA coaches of all time, Riley has served as the head coach of 5 championship teams and an assistant coach to another. He was named NBA Coach of the Year 3 times. He was head coach of an NBA All-Star Game team 9 times, 8 times with the Western Conference team and once with the Eastern team. In 1996 he was named one of the 10 greatest coaches in the NBA history. As a player, he played for the Los Angeles Lakers championship team in 1972. Riley most recently won the 2012 and 2013 NBA championships with the Miami Heat as their team president. He is the first North American sports figure to win a championship as a player, coach, and executive. He received the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award from the NBA Coaches Association on June 20, 2012. Biography: Riley was born in Rome, New York, and raised in Schenectady. His father, Leon Riley, played 22 seasons of minor league baseball as an outfielder and first baseman, and appeared in 4 games for the 1944 Philadelphia Phillies. Playing career: Riley played basketball for Linton High School in Schenectady, New York under head coach Walt Sabilo and his assistants Bill Rapavi and Ed Catino. Linton High School's 74-68 victory over New York City's Power Memorial on December 29, 1961, is remembered mostly for its 2 stars, Power Memorial's Lou Alcindor, and his future coach with the Los Angeles Lakers, Pat Riley. In 1991, Riley called it one of the greatest games in the history of Schenectady basketball. Riley was a versatile athlete in college, participating in both basketball and football. As a junior on the University of Kentucky basketball team in 1966, he was named first team All-SEC, All-NCAA Tournament Team, NCAA Regional Player of the Year, SEC Player of the Year and April 3 Team All-American, leading the Wildcats to the NCAA title game. Coached by the legendary Adolph Rupp, UK lost to Texas Western, a game that was reenacted in the movie Glory Road. His senior year Riley made first-team All-SEC, one of the only players in storied Kentucky basketball history to make 2 or more first-team All-SEC teams. He was selected by the San Diego Rockets in the first round of the 1967 NBA draft, and was also drafted as a wide receiver by the Dallas Cowboys in the 11th round of the 1967 NFL draft. He joined the Rockets and was later selected by the Portland Trail Blazers in the 1970 NBA expansion draft, but immediately traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, which he helped toward the 1972 NBA championship both by coming off the bench in games and guarding friend and legendary Laker guard Jerry West in practice. Despite this, overall, his playing career was undistinguished, as he was a perennial bench player. He retired after the 1975-76 NBA season as a member of the Western Conference champion Phoenix Suns. Riley finished his NBA playing career with a 7.4 points per game scoring average and a field goal percentage of 41.4%. Post-playing career, Los Angeles Lakers, Riley returned to the NBA in 1977 as a broadcaster for the Lakers. During the 1979 Euro 80 season, when the team's head coach, Jack McKinney, was injured during a near-fatal bicycle accident, assistant coach Paul Westhead took over the team's head coaching duties. Riley then moved from the broadcast booth to the bench as one of Westhead's assistant coaches. With rookie guard Magic Johnson and longtime star Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Lakers won the 1980 NBA Finals, defeating Philadelphia in 6 games, giving Westhead and Riley championship rings in their first year coaching the team. However, the team lost in the playoffs the next year to the Moses Malone-led Houston Rockets. 6 games into the 1981 Euro 82 season, Magic Johnson said he wished to be traded because he was unhappy playing for Westhead. Shortly afterward, Lakers owner Jerry Buss fired Westhead. At an ensuing press conference, with Jerry West at his side, Buss named West head coach. West, however, balked, and Buss awkwardly tried to name West as offensive captain, and then named West and Riley as co-coaches. West made it clear during the press conference that he would only assist Riley, and that Riley was the head coach. Thereafter, Riley was the interim head coach, until his status became permanent. Riley ushered in the Lakers' Showtime era, along with superstar players Johnson and Abdul-Jabbar with their running game. Riley became a celebrity in his own right, a fashion icon for his Armani suits and slicked-back hair which complemented the team's Hollywood image. Riley led the Lakers to 4 consecutive NBA Finals appearances. His first title came in his first season, against the Philadelphia 76ers. Both teams returned to the finals the next year, and this time Riley's Lakers was swept by the 76ers. The Lakers lost in the finals again in 1984, to the Boston Celtics in 7 games. The Lakers earned Riley his second NBA title in 1985 in a rematch of the previous year, as the Lakers beat the Celtics in 6 games. The Lakers' 4-year Western Conference streak was broken the following year by the Houston Rockets. In 1987, Riley coached a Lakers team that is considered one of the best teams of all time. With future Hall of Famers Magic Johnson, James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, plus Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, A.C. Green, Michael Thompson, and Kurt Rumbies, the Lakers finished 65-17 in the regular season, 3rd best in team history. They met with similar success in the playoffs, dispatching the Celtics in 6 games to win Riley his 3rd NBA title. One of Riley's most famous moments came when he guaranteed the crowd a repeat championship during the Lakers' championship parade in downtown Los Angeles. While the 1988 Lakers did not produce as many wins in the regular season as the 1987 Lakers, they still managed to win the NBA title, becoming the first team in 19 years to repeat as champions. The Lakers beat the Detroit Pistons in 7 games in the 1988 NBA Finals, making good on Riley's promise. Riley's titles with the Lakers make him the 5th man to play for an NBA championship team and later coach the same NBA team to a championship. The others are Bill Russell, Tom Heinsohn, K.C. Jones, and Billy Cunningham. Although Riley would offer no further guarantees, his Lakers embarked upon a quest to obtain a 3rd consecutive championship in 1989. Having successfully claimed a repeat championship the year before, the term used for this new goal was a 3-peat championship, and Riley, through his corporate entity, Riles & Company, trademarked the phrase 3-peat. However, in a rematch of the previous year's finals series, the Lakers were swept by the Pistons in the 1989 NBA Finals. Riley was named NBA Coach of the Year for the first time in 1989 Euro 90, but stepped down as Lakers head coach after they lost to the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs. At the time of his departure, Riley was the foremost coach in the NBA with a level of fame not seen since Red Auerbach. New York Knicks. After stepping down, Riley accepted a job as a television commentator for NBC. However, this job only lasted 1 year, and he became head coach of the New York Knicks starting with the 1991-92 season. Commentators admired Riley's ability to work with the physical, deliberate Knicks, adapting from his style with the fast-paced Laker teams in the 1980s. The Chicago Bulls had easily swept the Knicks in 1991 en route to their first championship. However, in 1992 with Riley, the Knicks pushed the defending championship Bulls to 7 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The physical defense of the Knicks against the Chicago Bulls' finesse superstars Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen during the 1992 playoffs led to a feud between Riley and Bulls head coach Phil Jackson regarding the officiating and the Knicks' rough style of play. In 1993, Riley led the Knicks to their best regular season record in team history and received his second Coach of the Year award. The Knicks met the Bulls in the playoffs at the Eastern Conference Finals where they lost in 6 games. Ironically, Jackson's Bulls went on to win the finals and accomplish the first three-peat in 1993, despite Riley's trademark in 1989. 2. Riley returned to the NBA Finals in 1994, en route defeating the three-time defending champions Bulls in 7 games during the Eastern Conference semi-finals. However, his Knicks lost in 7 games to the Houston Rockets after being up 3-2 in the series. During the 1994 finals, Riley became the first coach to participate NBA Finals Game 7 with 2 different teams, having been with the Lakers in 1984 and 1988. However, he had the unfortunate distinction of having become the first coach to lose an NBA Finals Game 7 with 2 different teams, having lost to the Celtics in 1984. It also denied him the distinction of becoming the first coach to win a Game 7 NBA Finals on 2 different teams, having defeated the Pistons in 1988. Miami Heat. In 1995, Riley resigned from the Knicks via fax to become the head coach and team president of the Miami Heat. The move caused some controversy, as the Heat were accused by the Knicks of tampering by pursuing Riley while he still had a year remaining on his contract with the Knicks. The matter was settled after the Heat sent their 1996 first-round pick and $1 million in cash to the Knicks on September 1, 1995. Riley's coaching of the Heat to playoff contention would later make them bitter rivals with his former team. In 1995-96, Miami was swept in the first round by Phil Jackson-coached Chicago Bulls, who had completed the regular season with a record 72 wins. This season was most notable for the ongoing house cleaning that took place, with the arrival of building blocks Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. The off-season would also bring them Nets forward P.J. Brown and Suns swingman Dan Magill. In 1997, Riley's Heat defeated his old team, the Knicks, in a physical 7-game series. Advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in franchise history, they proved no match for Jordan and his Bulls. Riley was selected as Coach of the Year for the 3rd time, after leading Miami to a 61-21 regular season record, first in the Atlantic Division. The Heat would compile consecutive seasons over .600. However, the 1998, 1999, and 2000 playoffs would be disappointments as they lost to the arch-rival Knicks. The first 2 in the opening round and the latter in the second round. In 1999, the Knicks themselves reached the finals. Riley then traded Brown and Jamal Mashburn in exchange for Eddie Jones in one trade and acquired Brian Grant in another, although the team suffered a major setback after discovering Alonzo Mourning's kidney condition. After finishing a respectable 50-32 in the 2000-01 season, the Heat were swept by the Charlotte Hornets in the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Heat then lost 2 of their best players when guard Tim Hardaway was traded to the Dallas Mavericks and Anthony Mason signed with the Milwaukee Bucks. In part because of these departures, the Heat finished a disappointing 36-46 in 2002. Riley was so disgusted with the Heat's performance that he declared he was about to fire himself. Before the beginning of the 2003-04 season, to fully dedicate his attention to his duties as general manager, Riley stepped down as head coach and was succeeded by longtime assistant Stan Van Gundy. Van Gundy and rookie Dwyane Wade, whom Riley drafted 5th overall, led the Heat back into the playoffs with a 42-40 record after starting 0-7. Riley concentrated on improving the team even further before the 2004-2005 season. One of his biggest moves as full-time general manager was to trade Caron Butler, Brian Grant, Lamar Odom and a first-round draft pick to the Lakers for superstar Shaquille O'Neal. O'Neal had just come off a successful stint with the Phil Jackson-coached Lakers, winning 3 straight championships 2000-02 and a 2004 finals loss. By this time, Riley and Jackson's feud had cooled, and Jackson would compliment Riley when the latter returned to the Heat's head coaching position in late 2005. 3. Wade and O'Neal led the Heat to the Eastern Conference Finals during the 2005 playoffs, although they lost to the defending champions Detroit Pistons after being up 3-2 in the series. Riley resumed coaching the Heat on December 12, 2005, replacing Stan Van Gundy after the Heat started the season with a disappointing 11-10 record. Van Gundy had resigned in order to spend more time with his family. The move came as a shock to the basketball community, with some speculating that with Shaquille O'Neal returning from injury, Dwyane Wade having his best season yet, and a high-caliber roster including Gary Payton, Jason Williams and Antoine Walker, Riley wanted to try to regain his former glory by coaching Miami to its first NBA championship. Riley's Heat team defeated his Los Angeles Lakers days nemesis, the Detroit Pistons, in the 2006 Eastern Conference Finals on June 2, 2006, making it the first time the Miami Heat reached the finals. Riley's Heat squared off against the Dallas Mavericks in the 2006 NBA Finals. Despite losing the first 2 games to Dallas, the Heat rallied to win the next 4 games and their first NBA championship. After Game 6, Riley commented that he had packed 1 suit, 1 shirt and 1 tie for the trip to Dallas. It was Riley's 5th championship as a head coach, and his first with a team other than the Lakers. Riley became the only NBA coach to take 3 different teams to the NBA Finals and joined Alex Hannum and Phil Jackson as the only head coaches to lead 2 different teams to NBA titles. He also became the only coach to twice replace a coach in mid-season and take that team to an NBA title. Citing hip and knee problems, Riley took a leave of absence from coaching from January 3, 2007 through February 19, 2007. Assistant coach Ron Rothstein assumed interim duties. On April 28, 2008, Riley announced that he would step down as coach of the Miami Heat after the team finished with an NBA worst 15-67 record, the worst regular season output of Riley's career. Former Heat assistant Eric Spoelstra was announced as his replacement. Riley remains team president. As president, Riley acquired LeBron James and Chris Bosh to form the Heat's Big Three with Dwyane Wade. In 2012, the Miami Heat beat the Oklahoma City Thunder to give Riley his first championship purely as an executive. The Heat repeated the feat in 2013, defeating the San Antonio Spurs. Outside of basketball, Riley has developed into a pop culture figure. This is born out of Riley's signature look, a slicked-back hairstyle, which is often described as gangster or mafioso-like, and his immaculate tan. He came to the public eye leading the Showtime Lakers of the 1980s, furthering his image by guaranteeing a championship. Riley has coached in 3 American cities well known for popular nightlife and celebrity culture. In 1988, Riley published a book entitled Showtime, Inside the Lakers' Breakthrough Season, a New York Times bestseller which recapped the Lakers' successful run to the 1987 NBA championship. One of the phrases Riley coined in the book was the disease of more, stating that success is often the first step toward disaster, and that defending champions often fail the following season because every player who returns wants more playing time, more shots per game, and more money. The phrase stemmed from the Lakers' disappointing 1980-81 campaign coming off a championship the previous season. Riley's name and likeness were used for a 1990 Sega Genesis video game, Pat Riley Basketball. In 1993, while coaching the New York Knicks, Riley published a second New York Times bestseller entitled The Winner Within, a life plan for team players. Aimed at a business readership as well as basketball enthusiasts, it distilled a lesson in teamwork and leadership from each of Riley's seasons as a coach to that date. Byron Lawson, saluted by Riley as a true Showtime warrior, co-authored both of Riley's books. Riley is known for his friendship with Giorgio Armani, preferring to wear Armani suits during basketball games, and even modeling once at an Armani show. Riley is also a motivational speaker during the off-season. Riley earns in excess of $50,000 for each speaking engagement. Riley and his wife Chris have 2 children, James Riley and Elizabeth Riley. Riley is a practicing Roman Catholic. On February 27, 2007, the Miami Heat were honored for their 2005 Euro 2006 NBA championship at the White House. During the ceremony, Riley presented George W. Bush with a jersey before announcing, "I voted for the man. If you don't Euro unregistered trademark T vote, you don't Euro unregistered trademark T count." After the ceremony, Riley was questioned by reporters about the political nature of his comments. He responded by saying, Euro unregistered trademark M pro-American, pro-democracy, Euro unregistered trademark M pro-government. I follow my boss. Hey Euro unregistered trademark S my boss. Riley and his wife are Bruce Springsteen fans. At his 2008 induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame, he ended his speech with a quote from the Springsteen song, "Back in Your Arms Again." Statistics as a player, college, NBA, head coaching record, see also, list of NBA championship head coaches, references. Bibliography, Haesler, Mark. The Lives of Riley, Macmillan General Reference, ISBN 0025506625, external links, NBA.com Coaches Pat Riley.